Hello, everyone. Welcome to our homes. This is Roger and Lou. We wanted to continue our discussion that we had started on our last video. If you haven't seen it yet, you might want to view it. It is about really where we defined what energy blockages are. And today we wanted to continue that conversation to talk about what it is that we do to remove energy blocks. My name is Lou Urban. I am a transformational coach and energy worker. I primarily focus on clearing energy blocks for people. And my co-host is...
And I'm Roger Dawson. I'm a certified Law of Attraction life coach, certified hypnotherapist, light body worker, and spiritual healer as well. Welcome to our conversation today.
Absolutely. So I was wondering, Roger, if you wanted to start out by maybe talking about some of the things that you do to remove energy blocks.
Sure, Lou. For me, it's really started around the awareness of it and just thinking about, if I'm not happy or if I'm not in a state of joy, what's on my mind, where am I at, and what am I thinking about? And so as I have recognized that, I'll go after and literally for me, I try to give it a name. I think about what little piece of it there is, because you can't I try to go after big pieces and then try to chunk it down into little sections. And then as I do that, I kind of send love and light around it, around that energy. And then I ask for it to be healed. I pray and ask for that to be healed. And sometimes that's through a formal process where the hands are together and I'm doing it. Or it could be just as I'm walking to the restroom or I'm walking through a store and something comes up, I'll do that. Matter of fact, a real example, yesterday I went shopping at Costco. And it's our Costco the one I went to was in our inner city. And so just a whole bunch of people from all walks of life. And I walked by somebody and I thought, oh, I found this element of judgment that I had in me. And I said, ooh, well, yay, I'm going to celebrate that I thought I felt this.
Yes.
And I instantly went to the point of, you know what? I'm going to see if I cannot ask to heal that and transmute that and get it out of my being, right?
Absolutely.
And I did. And I felt a sense of relief as I did that. And so, certainly go find yourself in a large crowd of people. If you want to try this out, you're going to see something that will trigger in you. And that's, kind of something that I did yesterday. It was really weird. I will also tell you, I have used Ho'oponopono, which is the Hawaiian prayer. I have used EFT, emotional freedom technique, which is the tapping. Thanks to you, I've had a couple of your energy healing sessions as well. And we've removed plenty of blockages there. There's the light body work that I've been through. There's Reiki. Those are some of the things and I've done them all. And I certainly, when I started doing it, I really started with EFT because, I heard the spiel. It's great. You tap on these meridian points. Totally get that, because I'm a believer in chiropractic and just some of that teaching and or kinesiology and and I would tap or and what have you, and I would had a hard time really kind of getting that feeling to come up. And I knew I needed to have that feeling of, we're just talking about judgment. We'll use that as an example of being judgmental about something. And I could never get it to quite come up because I wasn't ready to do it. I wasn't ready to release it. And so I was expecting immediate results because that was kind of some of the sales that I heard in a video that I'd seen online. And we kind of came frustrated with that and walked away from it and tried all these other different healing things. There's subliminal things too, subliminal meditations that are really great. But again, you've got to be ready to release it, go through it, and keep in mind, it took me 50 years to get all of this built up inside of me. It's more than likely not going to take me 50 years to transmute it to pure light energy, but it is going to probably come up. And I think the awareness of it is it's just a forever process of cleansing the soul and those limiting beliefs, the blockages, and what have you. So that's
Oh, absolutely. You triggered for me so many things that I wanted to say too.
And you listen, so go for it.
The one thing that when you were talking about identifying, what it is, what that blockage is, for me, one of the things that I try to do is I try to figure out where that is in my body. Because oftentimes it is a physical constriction. Like when it's a blockage, it really does constrict you physically. And if I can identify where that is, then it becomes very easy to pour the love and light into it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Something else that you brought up, a reminder that this is layers. Sometimes we have to be respectful of the container and only clear out so much. That's just the way it works. We don't want our container to collapse because we've cleared out everything around an issue. So it comes in layers. When we are ready to remove one layer, that will happen, and then we integrate, and then we do another layer, and it is a continuing process. You may get to the core issue and be able to resolve it fully, but having that patience to be able to do it over time. And then you talked about a number of things that you do with being able to remove energy blocks. I so resonate with all of those that you were talking about. Some of the additional things that I'd add to the list that help me are massage. Massage is a great way to get that energy flowing again, so we get back to that natural state of being in flow that we are. Some of the other things are, I'll do a ritual bath. In order to be able to relax, light the candles, get some mineral salts, just have that whole experience of being at peace, taking that time to be able to come back to present and enjoy that bath. Certainly, like you said, the clearing, that definitely is for me. And meditation is another way. Through meditation, I think that we can identify our intent, what we really intend to clear, where we want to get to, and that assists. Just having that clarity around what we want to have happen really facilitates that process even more so. And one more thing, physical clears out. A lot of people exercise. I'm a dance person, so I get out there and I, turn on the 70s rock, and I am rocking away in order to clear out those blockages. So for me, it really comes down to more than anything else, being aware that there is that block. Just like you said when you went to Costco, for me, it's, anytime those things come up, being aware of that, of what's happening within me, and then setting the intention to have that cleared away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I guess it's been about 2.5 years ago, I found myself out of a job. My position was eliminated, and I was thoroughly enjoyed my time at home. I didn't really watch TV. I spent time trying to build my coaching practice. I was going through the certification process along with you, obviously. And, I did, something popped up, in an email about this anger, frustration, release technique. And it was a form of EFT. And I remember, really, that was probably the first time that I really can say I had that emotion, that energy at the surface, and I went through that. And I remember standing in my kitchen, just nobody's here, the dog, myself, house is totally quiet, and I'm watching this going through this tapping sequence, and I was just so into it, and I was like literally screaming. I actually started crying, which actually tears are a sign of the release of the energy that you're
absolutely
busting through. And, because I really hadn't grieved the whole loss of the job thing. And I did it. It was middle of November, and a cool day. And I once I did that, I really had a job within 2 months. It was incredible. It was like I had to break through that to get past that, disappointment or whatever it was of losing a job, the grieving process of that, dealing with it, getting it out there and transmute. And after I had busted through that, had my little breakdown crying fit, I was exhausted, parched, very thirsty. And I just kind of sat in quiet for the rest of the day, and didn't really do anything, just spent time with me and what have you. And it was great. And that was that reason why I'm sharing that experience. That was probably the first time that I was able to really bring emotions into all of these things. So I think I've always been through moving different energy, removing different blockages, and looking at my limiting beliefs in the I and kind of progressing them to be not limited anymore, if that makes any sense. But right. But first time I brought the emotions into it, and then that's, again, this whole life coaching experience, going through the QSCA and all of the things that you and I have been on in our journey together. It started the momentum of that. And it's just, now it's so much a part of my day-to-day routine that I'm clearing blockages all day long. It's almost a subliminal thing or a subconscious thing that
Absolutely.
comes up. I go into my little, let's isolate it, love and light it, surround it with light, and then just let it kind of transmute back to Mother Earth.
Absolutely. You are 100% correct, Roger, that people do energy clearing on themselves frequently throughout their day, especially if the two easiest ways that we do that, we may not get to that real block, but we at least get the energy moving through laughter and tears.
Yes.
Oh, we're constantly clearing energy. Our vessels were meant to have that energy flow through us, not be held and constricted. And sometimes when sadness comes up, it's because we've put a cap on something, or we feel a certain way about something and we hold that in. No, we're meant to have that flow through us and get it out of us.
And you're going to have life happen. You can, all of the spiritual gurus and the big names in this industry, they're just like you and I. They have a day
Absolutely
where they stub their toe and it causes them to go say a bad word, or whatever is going on with the thing. So it's, again, that's just part of the thing. It's just a part of, almost like breathing, right? It's just part of the auto working, the inner workings of the body.
Absolutely.
Something I kind of want to go back to, because you mentioned it, and it really is so true, because I love that you, as you're thinking about your energy blockages or releasing them, that it's tied to some certain part in your body. Because really, that's kind of a little bit of EFT. There's connection with that. And of course, we have the chakras as well, that certainly we want them all spinning and going, but certainly they can become sluggish or have things going on. And that's something that I will tell you, I just really at the start of this year have started saying, now, gee, where in my body am I feeling this? And I certainly will tell you, it's not front of mind when I do that, but it's getting closer and closer to, gee, let me get it more narrowed down. Besides, I try to identify the words and the details and the feelings of that angle on that blockage. But now it's really trying to find that where it lives in my vessel.
Absolutely. Yes. And if we can, I guess for me, it's always worked really well that when I identify where that blockage is, it helps me to release that energy. Because, the more sensitive that you are to your own energy, what's going on in your body, the easier it is to be able to move that energy out. We're not taught that as we're growing up. We're not taught to relate to our own physical energy, but the emotions, that's all energy. Those are our guidance system. The what's going on physically, that's all energy. That is another part of our guidance system. And so if we can connect to both of those and what are we feeling? Where are we feeling it? Then we can really, like you said before, put a name on it so that we can really address it, to be able to remove the block, move the energy, whatever we need to do through our own methods or with assistance from others. Because oftentimes there is those blockages that, because we see from the inside out and others see from the outside in, they have a different perspective. They can help us to move it in ways that we could never move it ourselves.
Yes. So something that came to me as you were sharing that is, and I'll speak for myself, I personally had to start with the help of others getting there. And then they've helped kind of break down various layers of my blockages, and we've released them. I needed help, basically.
Absolutely.
And now I feel like I'm on a graduate course. So I just need to check in occasionally for the direction on whatever I'm experiencing, or somebody else to say, hey, did you ever think about tackling it this way? Or to kind of create an expansion in the releasing of energetic blocks. So
I agree with you. That oftentimes is because we don't have any experience. We don't have any skill around that. We need help from others in order to be able to do it. And yeah, I agree with you. I'm kind of on a graduate program too, because, I had to have definitely assistance from others, and I still do at times. There are some things that you do all the layers that you can, but there's a layer that's being elusive in some way. And so I need to go to others in order to be able to release some of the blockages that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's so true.
Yeah. So Roger, what else? Is there anything else that you have that you do that really helps to remove those blockages? Is there anything that you haven't talked about yet?
So the one thing that I will end with on this topic for now is, during meditation, there will be things that will come up. And, your mind will wander, and it's okay for it to wander, but to reel it in, and when something comes up and it is that something that you want to address, to kind of really go into a real deep relaxation, and just imagine that energetic thing that you're wanting to release starts to kind of flame up, starts to kind of burn, and then let it burn out, right? Basically until you have ashes left, right? And then you will feel that sense of release. You could possibly do that, just in day-to-day life. I find that is something that, as I've had something really on my mind bother me, I'll go into a deep meditation. It will come up, and then I burn it up.
Oh, that is so amazing. So amazing. I've never done the burn it up. I have the file 13, the circular file, the trash can in my mind.
I love that.
And I put it in the trash can.
Yeah. I haven't tried the trash can, but I wanted to burn. So that would be the one thing. And I would encourage anybody that would want to give it a shot, certainly to do it. And of course, it all starts with the mindfulness, right? Because
absolutely,
the mind's always a working, right? And it really is not our enemy. It really is our friend, because it's working and bringing up these things. It's now being able to proactively attack it and go after the experience of releasing that energy, because that's also part of the journey.
Absolutely. It is about the inner work. It's about being mindful, making the right choices that are, that are in line with your higher self, to be able to release that so you can get back to the place of true essence, happiness, joy, peace, and love.
Oh, namaste. Love it.
All right. Anything else you want to say, Roger?
I'm good for now. There will be more.
I'm sure there will be.
This whole energy blockage thing, you know, because I refer to it as a limiting belief, a blockage. You know, I've used energy word a lot. All of this is so many different angles to kind of look at it. It's like looking at, like when you have bifocals, right? Or now it's progressives
Uh-huh.
doing this number, because there's so many different angles you can look at it, and there's that one that's for you.
Yes.
And that's for you now. And then as you get more experience under your spiritual belt on this journey, then maybe, you know, it's a different level of focus that you'll go on to it. So more to come, because we're not complete on this one just yet, but more to come.
I would agree. I would agree. But excellent conversation today. Thank you so much for joining us, for coming into our homes and being part of our conversation. If you want to know more about me, I do have a website, louurban.com. And my co-host, Roger, also does have a website, rogerkdawson.com. So thank you for joining us.
Yes. Thank you. Have a great day.